Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel Defreeze Coding. If you are able to watch my previous videos and then able to complete the data mover application, then you did a wonderful job. You are one step ahead of your learning path. That's once again a good job. In the next three videos, we're going to look at this business case on my screen. We're going to create a console application to implement this business case. The business case is right. Consider a utility company that has a forecast generation software. This software is used to generate the forecast for the consumption load so that the generation plants can work accordingly to generate the electricity. This software needs weather data like temperature and wind speed uh, to generate uh, to generate a forecast for the next 5 consecutive future days based out of a model uh, for a single or a multiple locations. The forecast data should be available in a CSV format. This is the business case. And then the enterprise decides, okay, hey, we can go ahead and create a .NET custom app that can produce a CSV file so that it can be readily passed onto the generation forecast software. So, yep, let's proceed. So this is the business case. Let's go ahead and uh, create a console application. Before that, right, we're gonna look at a couple of things. Uh, the first thing is right. We need the forecast data, right, for the forecast weather data for one location or multiple locations. So if you Google it, so the first thing you will see this is the app. This is the website that provides weather data for a subscription fees as well as the free. If you're going to uh, get weather data for a single location, you can sign up. It's going to be free. So I did go ahead and sign up, and then I set up a location for New York to pull up the weather data. It works fine, but the other pieces, right? The weather data are exposed as an API, web API. So if you go to if you want, you can go to the website, sign up. It's a free sign up, and then once you get here, you will see these menus, and then click on documentation. It will take you to this page. It will provide the web API information. Before that, right, let's take one step back. Let's understand what is a web API. Yeah, web API is a concept uh, through which a piece of a business logic can be exposed as a service uh, via HTTP, so that right, any external system or any system can consume it, and then uh, can consume it. It works like this: the request will be passed from the application, the external application, to the web API. The web API accepts the request and then it processes it and then passes back the response back to the external application. So this is just a small example. If you go to this website, it's based out of ASP.NET, but the logic is the same. So if you have a web API, it can be written in any language. It could be Java, Python, .NET. Uh, it could be anything, but it's the concept is the same. If it is exposed as web API, then it's pretty much accessible. So in our case, right, we're going to create not a web Windows form. We're going to use a console application to invoke the web API. It's the same concept, right? We're going to use a HTTP request to invoke a call, and then the web API processes the request and then sends a response back to the caller application. Uh, the response could be JSON, XML, and others, but in this case, right, we're going to use JSON format because I'm going to tell you why we need it. So if you go back to this tomorrow.io, and then there's a weather forecast get method, right? Click onto it. Okay, so this is the one that actually provides the weather data based out of a couple of things. It could be a city name, location. The city name could be a clear text city name or a zip code or a I think postcode. I think they have it as a postcode. We're going to use the city name as is. So they have provided a sample URL, the URL that needs to be used based out of the API key. So whenever you create an account, they assign an API key. So for me, right, this is the API key that I can use to pull the data. So let's go back here. This is the URL they have provided. Okay, go ahead and use this URL. And also, right, I set up the since only one location I can use to get data. So I did set up a location as New York to pull the data. So it's being already set. Based out of that, the URL was generated here. So it uses the default location that I had created and the API key that it was generated. So let's go ahead and try it out. Okay, boom, it worked. Actually, it gave the data. So right now, uh, it gave the data minutely. Okay, it has given the data in the JSON format. This is how it looks like. Yeah, we will look at the JSON format in the next minute. So before that, right? So we did try it out. I want to uh, explain. There is a cool app called Postman. This can be used when you are working with an API. It's like a lifesaver. If you get used to this tool, it will. Go ahead and download this software, install it on your machine, and then it's a free sign up. Go ahead and sign in, so that you should be able to save your request on the Postman cloud. If you're done with that, so you can launch the Postman app. So it will be like this, sign into it, and then you should be able to create a new collection. I did create a collection called classes. So I'm going to do a request. So let's do an add request. It's going to be a get. So get represents, okay, there are different types of values here. Get and post are usually the most frequent ones. The get is to get the data, post is to insert a data, put is, I think, patch is to update, as well as put is also similar to it. Let's focus on get here. It's get, and then I have the URL pulled from the website, app.tomorrow website. So this is the URL. So once I put the URL here, do a send. Okay, so you see this one, it actually, if you can set the output as different types. In this case, the output is a JSON. Pick the JSON type. It uh, it actually formatted the data clearly. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's take a look at the payload. This is called payload. Okay, the response that we got from the uh, web API, right? That's called payload. Let's take a look at that, right? It starts with the curly braces, ends with the curly braces. That's like a root. Sometimes the root may have a name, sometimes may not. So in this case, right, root does not have a name. That's fine. Under that, right, I have let's yeah two under this, right. I have two unique key value pairs. The key value, right? This is the key. The key is like a string or a number. It could be a string, and then the values will be within a braces. It has two unique key value pairs. The key value pair uh, can be unique or can be repeatable. So in this case, right, we have a unique key value pair, timelines, and then the location. The location, if you expand, it just provides the name of the city and the latitude and the longitude. We can skip it. We don't need this. Let's dig deeper. Let's go to timelines, right? In this timeline, right, we have minutely, means, okay, the weather forecast for each minute. So you can see, right, it's like 5:16, it's 20, 54, and then next one is 54, next one is 55, and next one should be 56. It's a minutely. Every minute the forecast data was provided. Let's okay, go back. Let's Let me collapse that one. Next one is hourly. hourly, right? It's 16, 20. The next one should be 21, and then the next one should be 22. It's like an increment of 1. And then the daily will be each day, so 24-hour data. It says 2016, starts with 10, I believe it's 10. And then they have the data. The next one should be 17. Yeah, the next one should be 18. Okay. So we have 3 set of time series values: minute, hourly, and then daily. So we only need hourly data based on our requirement. So we're going to only focus on the hourly. We're going to skip the minutely and daily as well as the location. Sure. Okay, hope understood the payload format. Okay, let's start with the coding. So we're going to use the console application. The console application is going to reach out to the web API, make a request, and then get the response back, and then parse the data, and then create a CSV file. That CSV file can be consumed by the forecast generation software. Pretty much that's it. Okay, and as a first step, right, I will go ahead and create a solution file. Let's go to terminal. Yeah, and I'm under weather data. So let me go ahead and create a solution file. So this is the command to create solution file. Okay, I did create a solution file. Let's go. Let's clear, and then I'm going to create a batch project. I'm going to name it as WeatherData. So the batch will be WeatherData.Batch. This is a console application. The console application will have a main method that's going to be the entry point. Okay, once you see it, this one is got created. The next step is add this project into the solution. Okay, then let's look at take a look at that. Yeah, the project got added. That's cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and set up the let's go. Yeah, do we need that? Yeah, I think not right now. We can set up the run debug later. Yeah, let's take a look at the program.cs file. The program.cs file, right now does not have any namespace and then the main method. For readability, I'm going to go ahead and create that one so that it is more readable. So we'll start with the namespace. Namespace is with the data that batch, and then I'm going to create a public class. This will be program, and then under that I'm going to create a method public static void. Main should be caps main string args. This should go within here. I think it looks good. Let's go ahead and build it. Okay, there are no errors. So yeah, in the last video, we talked about hosting. Hosting is the good pattern, and the dependency injection is a very good framework that needs to be used. So we'll start with the hosting. For hosting, so we're gonna need a package called Microsoft.Extensions.Hosting. We're gonna go ahead and add it. Before that, we have to clear. Let's go into that startup project. That's going to be our batch project. Yeah, it should be caps B. Yep. And then I'm going to add a package called .bat hosting. Okay, I think it's done. And the next one also dependency injection, right? If you want to understand the dependency injection, watch my last video. That's going to be class 4 that talks elaborately on the dependency injection. We will also use dependency injection in our in this application. So let's go ahead and install the dependency injection. It's done. Uh, yeah, let's in the for this application, right? So there is no data layer because right, I'm not going to talk to any database, but I'm going to have a service layer and the models. Let me go ahead and create those. I have to go back one level back. I have to create it at the parent folder level. So yeah, it's going to be the class library. The service is going to be the class library where the data is. That service is going to be the name. Created it. I have to add that solution into the project into the solution. Let's go ahead and do it. Yep. Let's double verify it. Yep, that services got added. That looks good. So I would need a one more class library that's going to be my model. Okay, same thing. Let me add the project into the solution. Okay, solution is there. Yeah, model is there. Let's go ahead. Yep, I see all 3 projects in my solution file. That looks good. So we have the, okay, let's go back to the batch application. We have the program.cs. So this is going to be the startup application. That's fine. Uh, and also we need a starting point of the application. So for that, right, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to name it as an application.cs. This is going to be my application. I'm going to start with the namespace. Always start with the namespace. WeatherData dot, yeah, matches my namespace, and then public class application. Okay, public class application. So that's good. Under that, right, I'm going to create a method called public void run or execute, whatever you like. So I'm going to stick with run here. I'm going to put our console.write statement saying run method is invoked. So I have the application class created and I have the run method created. The next one is right hosting piece. For the hosting, when I include some libraries, I'm going to use Microsoft.Extensions.Hosting, and also I'm going to include Microsoft. Yeah, let's include. We can do the dependency injection later. Let's start with the hosting. Hosting. Let's go ahead and build one more time. So cd data.batch. Okay, .NET. Okay, it did build successfully. That's good. The next piece is right. What we want to say. We're going to start with high host builder. Host builder. We're going to use the host class, and it has 3 different methods. We're going to use the create default builder. It doesn't take any parameters. Once we have the host builder, next one is to configure the services. We're going to use the configure services method. Configure, Yeah, there it is. Configure services. The last case, right? Uh, we explained. We uh, we we d- we took a deep dive into this one. So if you have any questions, feel free to go back to the class 4 video and then understand what configure services does. And it takes two parameters: context, then services. Then it's going to use the lambda curly braces and then close out this. So it looks good. We're going to configure the services, right? Services dot we're going to start with add singleton. Because I'm going to invoke the application only one time. So singleton. So the class name we're going to provide is going to be the application. So this will make sure whenever the application starts, this will make sure that this application class gets instantiated so that we get an object. We can get an object of type application so that we can invoke the run method. That's the first piece, right? Okay, we got the services registered. The next piece is the host, right? We have to build a host so that we can call the starting point of the application, right? Let's do a host equal. We're going to use the host builder. Then it uses the use console lifetime, and then we can use this application to build it. Use this method to build it. We got the host. Okay, the host will be used to instantiate your first your class that has the first line of the logic. So we're going to use uh, the first line of the logic. The starting class is going to be application. So I would need a application object, but I'm not going to use a new keyword to invoke it. That's where the dependency injection and the hosting piece comes in, right? We discussed this elaborately in the last video. So we're going to use the host and then services to look at the registered services. In this registered services, right? I'm going to there's a method called get required services. The class that you want to start your application. So in this case, right, it's going to be my application class. Okay, so this statement would create an object of type application and then assign it to the local variable app. So once I have this one, if you click dot, right, it provides ability to invoke my run method. So I'm gonna invoke it. So yeah, pretty much that's it. This is the standard coding. If you understand what it is, then it will be very helpful. Let's do a clear. Let's do a .NET build. Sorry, I should be .NET build. Okay, clear. I can go ahead and run it. If I run it, uh, it should invoke this method, and then run method is invoke this. The statement should get displayed on the console screen as well as the hello world. Yeah, let's keep it hello world here. .NET run. Okay, cool. I think so. Uh, this is going to be a good logical place to stop. Uh, so what we did is, right, we went through the API piece, understand understand about the API, and then yeah, one more thing I forgot. So let's take a look at the JSON. So what is JSON? So right, so in this, right, you can see, right, the payload has key and the value path. The key always could be a string or a alphanumerical value, and then separated by a colon, and then double quote, and then it could be a value. Value could be a a single type, or it could be a collection of it could be a collection or array. So but the concept is the same. It's going to have it will have a key and a value, so separated by a colon. That's the JSON. So if you go back to this link, I will post all the links in the description, as well as the code files link in the description. You can, if you have any question, you can download the code files and then uh, go through it. So JSON, right? It's a JavaScript object notation format. It is usually separated by key and a value pair. Pretty much that's it. So you can see, right? The first name is John, the last name is Dio. So the first part is the key. The second part is the second part is the value separated by a colon. So JSON format, right? It's a very universal format. It's used extensively. In this case also, right, in our application, we're going to use the JSON format because, right, the response from the web API is a JSON. Good. So I think you can actually go through all this concept, and then in the next video we're gonna take a look at the services project. We're gonna invoke the web API, grab the data, get the data, pass the data, and then we have to create a model and then assign it to the model, and then we're gonna uh, use the file stream to write it into a file. But the file stream part will go to the third video. But next video is going to be the web API piece. Uh, Pretty much that's it, I think. If you have any questions, put it on the comment. Um, have a good one. Thank you all. Bye.